There is this feeling I get sometimes, usually late at the night, and I know that I am not the only one. It's the feeling that I am behind. Not behind on anything specific, but it's just behind in life. Like everyone else got a head start, and I am somehow running late. You see someone your age, and they have the house, the marriage, the title, the whole thing. It feels like they have figured out, and something in your chest goes tight. But before you sit in that feeling, let me tell you something. Vera Wang, the fashion designer everyone knows, didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Colonel Sanders, the man whose face is on every bucket of fried chicken, the KFC owner, started the whole thing in his 60s. Morgan Freeman, one of the most respected actors alive, was basically nobody until 50s. The world famous J.K. Rowling, she was a broke single mother until she got the success from her Harry Potter series. None of them were behind. They were right on time. They just didn't know it yet. So recently, I stopped and I actually asked myself a simple question about this whole feeling. Behind on what? Like, genuinely. There is this schedule in my head I keep failing. Who wrote it? Where did I get that timeline where I'm measuring myself against? And when I actually looked for it, what I found kind of set me free. So let's talk about the schedule because we all have it, even if we have never written it down. There is a timeline running in the back of your head for how life is supposed to go. Like finish studying by this age, good job by this age, settled by your late 20s, married around then too, house, car, all of it by your early 30s, and kids by a certain point, sorted, senior, respected by 40. You didn't sit down and design the schedule, but it's in there, precise and loud. And every time your real life doesn't match, the tight feeling shows up. You are late, you are behind, everyone else is on track and you are not. Here is what's strange though, nobody agrees on the real numbers, and everyone feels behind on them anyway. The person with the house feels behind because they are not married. The married one feels behind because they hate their job. The one with great job feels behind because everyone's buying a house and they are still renting. Everyone feeling behind at the same time on the different invisible schedules, which is your first clue that something about this schedule is off. So here is what I think actually going on. That schedule in your head is real. You didn't imagine it, but that's old, really old. It was built for a different, completely different world, like your parents' world, their parents' world. Back then, the path was narrow and fixed. You finished studying, you got one job, and you kept that job, and you kept it for life. You married young, you settled young, because that's what the whole world at the time allowed and expected. There was basically one road and a set age for each specific step on it. The whole timeline made sense for that world. But that world is gone. Everything has changed. People live decades longer now. Careers changes 5 times. Education stretches longer. Cities are more expensive. People marry later or they don't. The whole shape of a life is different. And yet the schedule in your head never got updated. You are running software on a life that looks nothing like 50 years ago. That's why the numbers feel impossible because they were set for a different game with different rules that ended before you even started playing. You are not failing the timeline is just wrong. It's measuring you against a whole world that doesn't exist anymore. It's like showing up to a race, running as hard as you can, and slowly realizing the finish line was painted for a track that got torn up years ago. You were just handed a broken clock and you have been trusting it your whole life. Now, I will be honest about the uncomfortable part. Realizing this schedule is fake doesn't instantly delete that feeling because you have believed it your whole life. You have made real decisions around it, rushed into things because you felt late, passed on things because you thought there wasn't any time for it, compared yourself to people for years and quietly felt like you are losing. And a lot of that comparison was against people who are also just faking it, also feeling behind, also measuring themselves against the same broken clock. So there is a bit of grief in it. All those worry, all those nights feeling like you were falling short. It was against a finish line that was never real. For a second, that can feel like a waste. Like, why did I carry that for so long? But stay with me because this is exactly where it turns into the most freeing thing you will let yourself believe. Here is the freeing part, and it's genuinely freeing. If the schedule is fake, then think about what that actually means. You cannot be behind on a timeline that doesn't exist. Behind needs a real schedule to be behind on. Like, take the schedule away, and the whole feeling just has nothing to stand on. And once you really see that, something relaxes that's been tense for all these years. You get to stop racing people who are running towards a finish line nobody actually agreed on. You get to ask a completely different question. Not, am I where I should be by now, but is my life actually going in a direction that I like? That's the real question. That one's worth answering. The other one was never even a real question. It just felt like one. So, the person who figures out their thing at 35, the one who finds love at 41, the one who starts everything over again at 38, and it's their best decision of their life. They're not late. They were never late. They were just living at the actual speed of a real human life instead of scheduled from a world that's completely gone. You have so much more time than the clock in your head has been ticking. And it's not because you are young, but because the race you thought you were losing never running in was never running in the first place. So the next time that feeling shows up, the one that says you are behind, you're late, everyone is ahead of you, just stop and ask it a simple question. Behind on what? On whose schedule? Written for which world? And watch how fast it runs out of answers. You are just measuring a brand new kind of life against a very old clock. And the moment you put the clock down, you realize you have time, a real time. Time to build a life that's actually yours at your own pace. I still feel that tight feeling. It's not like I won't pretend that I don't feel it. But now I know what it is. Honestly, letting go that clock is one of the lightest and most exciting thing that I have felt in a long time. Like someone opened a window in a room I didn't know was stuffy. So let me ask you, if you fully believed you were not behind, that there is no schedule, no clock, no race, what's one thing you would stop rushing and finally give yourself permission to do it slowly? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. See you in the
Living
next
in
one.
the moment is the only truth. Let's go slow. Living in the moment is the only truth. Let's go slow.